Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In this special occasion, we would like to present our research entitled Personal Digital Inquiry Learning Model to Mitigate Students' Learning Loss. What are the challenges and opportunities? Before we start our presentation, we will introduce the members of our group. We are from Universitas Tidar, and we consist of 5 members. The first one is Ibu Dr. Winarsih, M.Pd. The second one is Ibu Dr. Farikah, M.Pd. The third one is Bapak Muhammad Malik Firdaus, M.Pd. The fourth is Bapak M.Fatkhu Arifin, M.Pd. And the last one is me, myself, Candradewi M.Pd. And in this presentation, we divide it into 4 aspects. The first one is background to the problem. The second one is methods. The third one is research results. And the last one is conclusion. Let's proceed to the background to the problem. As we have already known that online learning in COVID-19 pandemic era contributes to the phenomenon of learning loss among students. The idea of learning loss is the loss of knowledge and skills that students experience when they are not in the school. And then this phenomenon is caused by many factors. They are from internal and external factors. And the aims of this study is to discover the challenges and opportunities of implementing personal digital inquiry learning model in solving students' learning loss, particularly in learning English subject in the high schools. And then the next discussion or explanation about personal digital inquiry learning model will be delivered by Bapak Muhammad Malik Firdaus. Time's yours, Pak Malik.
Okay, well, thank you so much to Candradewi for giving me a chance to continue the presentation. So take a look for the pictures. So we would like to discuss about the personal digital inquiry, or PDI, is a learning design that departs from the principle of inquiry-based learning. And then the research-based learning or inquiry emphasizes students as the center of learning and other elements as support. And the next, another important principle in inquiry-based learning is the emphasis on information processing and processing skills. And the next, we come to the students are trained to use the resources and facilities that they have in information processing activities. And then the next, students are conditioned to independently fulfill their knowledge needs by May 2019. And the last, by paying attention to this principle, PDI can be understood as an inquiry-based learning design that integrates personal inquiry and online research by involving the use of digital devices by Warko 2019. And the next will be, this is kinds of the activities of the students in the classroom, talking about the implementation of PDI, or personal digital inquiry. So we divided into groups, and every single group will discuss the way how to conduct the PDI itself. And then the next will be continued by Bapak Fatkhu Arifin, talking about the next slide, please, the method of this research design. Okay, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pak Muhammad Malik Firdaus and Bu Candradewi, for the opportunity given to me. And in this discussion, allow me to continue the explanation. In our study, the method was the case study. So the qualitative approach to a case study with the investigator focusing on one or more cases of a time through detailed in-depth data collection involving multiple sources of information. It depends on the case well. And then the other is the in-depth study of instances of a phenomenon in its natural context and from the perspective of the participants involved in the phenomenon. So this is the case study. And then the next is about the subject of this study is English teachers who have already implemented personal digital inquiry learning model. So we come to the teachers who have been implemented personal digital inquiry in their learning process. And then for the instruments of the data collections, we use questionnaires and interview. So we conduct like an interview with the teachers and also provide them the questionnaire to collect the data and the trustworthiness of this research. So it was the validity of the research finding used by the investigator triangulation. Next. On about the results, after we collect the data, we have a personal digital inquiry or PDI learning model have the challenges and opportunities in its implementation. The challenges cover the teachers and students' readiness, the teaching materials, and the time allotment. So actually, for the basically in learning process is nothing. There is no problem with online learning actually. The problem is only the culture of the learning process itself, where our culture was the traditional model, and in this pandemic era, we must move to the what we call distance learning. It means that it's become the challenges to what we call to cover the what we call learning culture in our environment. Then the other is the opportunities reflect on mitigating students' learning loss, enhancing students' participation, and developing student higher order critical thinking skills. So in inquiry model, or I mean inquiry-based learning, here we provide the inquiry-based learning using the digital devices. It means that students still can learn by themselves, although it is on distant learning. Okay, for the next is, for the conclusion, we can conclude from our study that PDI or personal digital inquiry help the teachers to mitigate students' learning loss. How? By using the digital devices. In fact, or in implementation, we can like what we call transform the traditional learning resources to the digital learning resources, and by using that, the students can learn by themselves in case to mitigate students' learning loss. And then there are opportunities and challenges in implementing personal digital inquiry, as I explained before, that there are some challenges like the readiness, because we have to turn down the learning cultures where we used to have a traditional learning model, and now we have to what we call having a distance learning model. So that's what that is the challenges for personal digital inquiry. And for the opportunities, personal digital inquiry is really necessary in this era, especially in this era. We can show whether the pandemic will be over soon or maybe it will be last forever. So we have to make our preparation to face any what we call possibility of during this pandemic era. So that's about our study about the personal digital inquiry to mitigate students' learning loss. So thank you for your wonderful participation, and for the question and answer will be provided after the presentation. Thank you.